Well, good evening. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Leading Ladies, Leading Legacies. There's never a dull moment in my camp. I am Joy Ruffin, a leadership and style consultant and a personal development strategist. But tonight, it's all about supporting women who might feel that maybe they've lost their mojo, so to speak. Maybe like I felt at one point in time, no more. My work also includes being a signature style specialist, a speaker, executive producer, TV host, and podcaster. And my friends, wherever you are, just sit back, relax, and get comfortable because we are thrilled here to host tonight the remarkable Dr. Donna G. Ivery, an MD who has so much to share with you. But before I bring her up, I just want you to get comfortable, grab whatever makes you comfortable, and listen to a wee bit of her background, because when she comes up, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff that applies, hopefully, to you or someone that you know. She is a renowned menopause expert, a speaker, and a physician's mentor with nearly 3 decades in obstetrics, I can't say the word, and gynecology. She has delivered baby after baby after baby and performed a lot of surgeries, and there's so much more. I'm delayed here myself because of our delay. But friends, just get comfortable, whatever that means to you. And I'm going to bring her up right here and now, and we're just going to get the show rolling. Dr. Donna G. Ivery, come on up, as they say.
Joy, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here today.
I'm
How are
happy.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, it's never a dull moment in technology in our camp, and
No.
there's always something going on, and you allow yourself to get flustered. But your energy, like mine, it connects. So we're going to talk about all the things that are prevalent at some point in time for most women in life. It's called menopause.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your work and how you came to specialize in this particular arena of life for women.
You know, it's interesting because I spend a lot of time in my clinical practice helping women through menopause
Yes.
and really almost witnessing a lot of women in menopause because I don't really tell people this as much, but half the things I know about menopause are because women came on their well woman visit, on their pap smear visit, and I
Yes,
would
yes.
ask them. And so they're having symptoms, but they're not symptoms bad enough that they wanted to come to the doctor or bad enough that they thought they needed a prescription, but they were having symptoms. So I got a window into witnessing the experience in women who were well going through menopause and women who were getting knocked off their rocker by menopause.
Mm.
And then once I stopped my practice, and then regrouped because I got sick. And so regrouped, got treated, got recovered.
Right.
And then what do? I'm too young to be retired and doing nothing. And so my wheelhouse was menopause beforehand. So how about taking the time to help women in general understand menopause?
Yes.
But my real focus is that area of mild to moderate symptoms to help women understand the things they can do to help themselves.
Oh, I love that, Dr. Don.
You know?
I love that because truth be told, I'm old-fashioned, old school back in the day, and happy to be because I love technology as well. But I can share with you what you just said about having the pap smear and then the symptoms that were coming through, because most women, it's never all in anything,
Right.
but have this fear about going through this stage of life. And it is normal and it can be natural. And you said it can be difficult to endure, but yet once you get an awareness of it, you can proceed. So what are some of the things that you're doing now to allow women to know that it's a natural process? And even though it can be, and it's not always for anybody, everything is difficult, but you learn how to navigate through it. What are some of the things that you're doing to share with them so the fear and the hesitation, anxiety is no longer there?
The number one thing is my book. So I wrote a book called Not Your Granny's Menopause.
I love that.
And it's really designed to be a guide to walk you through the change. We talk about menopause. I explain menopause. I go through the major symptoms. There are a million symptoms. For a million women, women will have a different experience in menopause.
Mm-hmm.
And so trying to say that this is a symptom and this is not, if you're in menopause, anything can be a symptom. but the majority of symptoms to really talk about what they are, why they happen, what's happening in your body, and then what are the things you can do to help yourself.
I love that.
Very important.
I love that. And you know what you just said, that changes in life is prevalent for all of us, no matter what cycle of life you're in. But one of the misconceptions I think that many people have is that it's the beginning of old age. And that's one of the ideas in mind that you're attempting to change, because it's not true. Yes, it's an aging process, but it doesn't have to be where it takes away the joy and the pleasure of life. So explain to us a little bit more about that so people can have more of an awareness.
Well, I think it's a reflection of our society, and our society doesn't like aging. And our society puts, a big red stamp on the notion of, okay, if you're getting old, you're done. You're not worth it anymore. We're not interested. And what women don't realize is that menopause hits us right in our prime,
Yes.
right at midlife, and it catches us by surprise. And then the thought is, oh my God, that means I'm old. And the reality is it doesn't.
Yes.
Maybe 100 years ago, 50 was old, and 50 was old because guess what? Many women died in childbirth or they died from cervical cancer and they were dead by 45. And so this history of having menopause doesn't occur in a lot of families 100 years ago and the rest of the past for humanity. So we're
Really?
lucky. We're in a phase where half of our lives will be spent, or half of our adult lives will be spent after menopause, not worrying about getting pregnant,
Yes.
not having to deal with cycles, and being able to engage in life and figure it out. Okay, exactly what do I want to do with myself? So menopause is not the beginning of old age. And that's a big message I like to send.
I love that message. You know why? Because it is, and it is a reflection of our society. We have all this anti-aging, I say pro-aging,
Good.
timeless aging. But you know
Absolutely.
what you said, Dr. Donna, that's prevalent? You use the word prime. Yes, it hits you at a certain time in your life, but prime is a very powerful word. And if you're aware and you do all the things that you need to do, it can be the best
Absolutely.
time and cycle in your life. So speak to that a little bit, because it doesn't have to equate with old. It has to equate with it's time to rise and take. You mentioned the period is over. A lot of the things that you used to worry about getting, all of that's over. So how do you
Yeah.
utilize that time? These are the things we need to be thinking more about. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we need to re-engage with ourselves. And I tell women, I said, you need to look in the mirror. You need to see yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
You need to own what you see. And I say, see yourself physically, yes, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Who are you? Go back to when you were 8 years old. Who were you? You had a sense of who you were, what you liked, what
Yeah.
was important, things like that. So who are you? So see yourself, own it, the good and the bad. I
Yes.
tell people I was born talkative and I was born bossy. I own it.
I love it. I love it.
I
I
own
love
it.
it. I love
And
it
then
because
love yourself. Then love it.
every shape, every size, every age, every cycle of life. But that goes to what I'm so gung ho for, Dr. Donna, and that is that know thyself. There's so many ways to say it, but once you get to know thyself and love thyself, every bit of you, and stop equating and copying who you are with someone else. Be
Yes.
the best you. That's
Yes.
what we as women have to come to, and that's where true power is going to come in. You know, this built-in thing about aging, where did that all begin? And how have we been programmed, conditioned, and marginalized in so many ways that we began to think, most of us, it's never all, that this is where we begin to fall apart, when it's really we can begin to blossom.
Joy, I think that we don't take into account the understanding that it's only really been two full generations of women that don't die before 50.
Yes.
And so the value of women is low. The value is low when you're not going to survive. If your only role in existence is to replicate, is to have more humans, then there's no additional value after that. And we get a chance to change the narrative
Yes,
because we are more than baby factories. And don't get me wrong, that is, you know, it sounds trite to say that that's sacred,
it
but
is.
you don't get more humans without women producing more humans. And that's a big deal. And every baby is a blessing. Every baby is a miracle. But let's be clear, it requires a huge amount of sacrifice, of time, of resource, physical resources.
Yes, 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 yes.
How do you create another human being? Well, every cell, all the energy, everything comes from your body.
Yes.
At some point, you have to replenish.
As a friend of mine said not too long ago, and this stuck in the noodle of my brain in the deepest way, bedded in my soul, is that we are women are the bedrock. That's not to
Yeah.
bash men, but we are. But what you said somewhat, Dr. Donna, it equates to most of us, again, the word sexy. And a lot of women feel that they've lost their sexy when they reach that prime cycle of change in their life. So, how do we address and tell them that it really can be the beginning of reinventing and everything where you are at the prime and the highest pinnacle of where you need to be for being desired and desirable? Doesn't necessarily always have to be sexy. So let's speak to that a little bit, because I think one of the reasons women fear so much, is you spoke to it in your style, is that they feel that they've lost their allure. It's not true.
You know, that's so complicated. It's complicated and it's easy. Are you
Mm.
the cow that somebody needs to buy for the milk?
Woo.
Or are you more than that? And so
Mm.
it starts with, what do you feel is your value?
Mm.
You know, does your family love you or love what you do for them?
Dr. Donna, that's why my mantra now, and I'm using it everywhere I go, I attempt to be diplomatic, is that we are so much more than our two B's and our V. And
I love
until
it.
we recognize that and equate that without blaming or bashing or blasting men, that the true equality will not arrive until we awake to that knowing. And what you just said about the cow and the milk, haven't we all heard that at some point in time?
Yes.
But what happens when we age, that we forget that, and we think,
Yes.
because we forget how powerful we are
Yeah.
innately. That
Yeah.
is so because this middle age crises that, and by the way, here's a question for you. I think I have the answer, but I'd like to throw, it's not always middle age that this happens. Doesn't it happen at different stages for different women, contingent upon a lot of variables? Does it
Well,
happen sometimes in the
believe it or
30s?
not, not really, Joy. 45 to 55.
It
45
happens
to
between
55.
45. Okay, well, it happened for me at that time, but I
Sure.
thought it could happen. But it happens between 45 and then you go into what? What is the prime age that it hits most women?
Okay, so the normal age range for menopause, and menopause meaning the normal age range for a woman to experience her last menstrual cycle,
Yes.
is between the ages of 45 and 55.
Okay.
The average age is 51.
Ah.
And so 3 to 4 years of symptomatology leading up to that, maybe another year of a symptomatology afterwards, and then a subset of women that have a significant amount of symptomatology as much as 10 years before.
Okay.
But, you
So
know, go ahead.
it would be a small number of women who could
Yes.
have it before 45. A
Before
small percent
before 40. So
before
before
40.
40
Yes.
is considered pathologic.
Okay, good.
And
Because
after 60 is considered pathologic.
got it. Ooh, I didn't know that either. Okay.
Yes,
Good
those
to
were
know.
the extremes.
Good to
Okay.
know. You know,
That lead
this
to
is
other disease states. And so within that age range, you're
right.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I knew, because I know of a couple where it happened much earlier in the early 40s, and the 45 to 55, it hit me at the middle of 40. But listen, this is ongoing and there's a lot more we can discuss. I'm going to take a quick little reset. I want to share with them a few things, and then we're going to come back and we're
Okay.
going to talk about the freedom Menopause.
Yes.
I'm excited. I know everyone wants to know that. So she's going to scoot you to the green room, and I'll be back with you in just a second.
Sure.
Friends, this is a conversation that we all need, no matter what generation and what age range you're in. We need to hear all of this potent, powerful information that Dr. Donna is giving and sharing with us today. And if you are not a member of my Facebook group, she has just joined. Come and connect with us. We're all about all of this knowledge and this information that helps us to be all that we're here to be, because your vision, the mission that you're on, and your purpose for being here, it's all paramount to everyone. It doesn't belong just to you. So come and join the group. And you've heard Dr. Donna say, know who you are. You hear me say every week, know thyself. Here's a great insight. Everybody's going to come contingent upon your belief system and where you are in life to their way of finding out. But here's a great tool that will give you the information that you need to lead you to where you need to go, to learning more about you. And I want to put up Dr. Donna's poster. I want you to take a look at it. Take a good look. Take a screenshot and a snapshot, and you'll see it going here, there, and about. But we're going to talk a little bit about this towards the end. Is menopause wearing you out? And then all the other questions we're going to talk about. But let's talk about menopause as freedom. You mentioned it lightly before, from fertility and the concerns about the monthly cycle. So speak about the joy and the happiness that one can receive when that happens, which I have received. Share with us a little bit about that.
It's menopause. So many women have different outlooks. Some women are horrified that they're no longer fertile.
Yes.
They miss their periods. And I've had patients tell me, oh, I don't feel like a woman if I'm not bleeding every month. But I promise you, the majority of women are like, what are you talking about? I can't wait.
That's a small minority.
Yes, I can't wait. And there's some women that are really struggling with extremely heavy cycles.
Yes,
painful cycles. And so it can't come fast enough. So women really have their own individual experience. But let's talk about what menopause really is about.
Let's do that. Yes.
It's our fertility years are years of high hormone levels that are constantly changing against each other every 2 to 3 days.
Yes.
Cycling, hormonal levels cycling, definitely impacting our mood, impacting our outlook, impacting our ability to concentrate, impacting our ability to sleep. Menopause puts us in a low hormone environment that doesn't change. Those hormones don't fluctuate anymore. So that transition is when we're getting these symptoms. And menopause can blow everything up for folks. And plenty of women have mild symptoms or none. But once that transition is done, once your body finishes going through withdrawal from being on all of those heavy hormones and high hormones, then you're going to be in a space where your hormones are the same every day. Wouldn't it be nice to wake up every day, not having to worry about, are my eyes going to be puffy? Am I going to have more discharge? Am I going to start my cycle? Am I going to be bloated? Without having to worry about those things, because your hormones aren't cycling up and down and up and down and up and down.
Yes.
If you're having symptomatology, then we do something about those things. One thing I say, you get no points for suffering. Our grandmothers didn't have choices, and we do.
We do.
So if you are having a bad time and you choose to do nothing, that is your right. But don't make everybody suffer with you, because no one's impressed with that.
No.
It's not necessary.
It's not today.
And
it never was.
Yeah, and our grandmothers wouldn't have suffered if they didn't have to.
Exactly.
That's the fallacy. We think we have to live up to their legacy, and they have great legacies on some things, but some things happened because they had no choices.
Yes.
And so why suffer in the face of choices?
Dr. Donna, why do you, this is a personal assumption on my part, I'm sure, asking you, and you have every right, but why do you think that this fertility and being fertile is so connected to being sexy or being desirable or desired? Why and where did we pick up the banner and equate and blend the two of those together? Because in point of fact, you know and I know they're not connected really.
Well,
Sexy is in the mind. One of my friends said it's a mindset.
I think, I think there are different ways I can answer that.
Yes.
But if I wanted to really pinpoint it, we separated sex from reproduction.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
And once that got separated, then our value changes. Because, my philosophy has always been you are more than what goes in and out of your vagina.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I
And
love that.
so contraception also allowed that to happen. And I assure you, I am not anti contraception on any level because it has allowed women the latitude and the privilege of
Mm-hmm.
choosing when they're pregnant
Yes.
and being able to have other goals that they can depend on achieving at younger ages.
Yes.
And that's part of equality,
I love that. I
choosing when you reproduce.
I love that explanation. Thank you for addressing that because it's spot on and it's my mindset and outlook exactly. Now, you spoke to earlier, and we'll kind of wrap and end up with this because you
Okay.
mentioned all of this about fertility and changes and the whole cycle that we all go through, and that word prime, which is a favorite word of mine, that it can be when you allow it to be.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the things to focus on that are the high points and can be the rewards. You spoke to a couple earlier about once the cycle is over with your menopausal situation, then you began another cycle of life. Let's talk about it's never too late and how we can focus on ourselves so that we are more boom.
The first step is you need to make you the top priority in your life.
Woohoo.
You, your needs, you be the number one priority. Make it your business to get your needs addressed. If you are the best that you can be, you'll be a better mother, you'll be a better wife, you'll be a better employee, you'll be a better employer, you'll be a better business owner, you'll be a better member of the church, you'll be a better everything if you get your needs met. And so
Mhm.
you need, go back to that, see yourself, own it, and love it. Love yourself and put your needs as a top priority. And
I
that's
think
going to take adjustment.
a lot of adjustments. And
Oh
for
yeah.
whatever the reasons are, they're deep and they're embedded, Dr. Donna. But I think that's so difficult for most women to get into, to really knowing thyself, the good, the bad, and the so-so. I really don't see the ugly. I don't say that just for verbiage, but I see a lot of so-so that we need to work with. And we
Mhm.
need to be cognizant and aware and honest about it. But
Mhm.
I think a lot of women run from knowing themselves for whatever their personal reasons are. And how do we, and it's only when you're ready, but what can we do to implement and get them to see that this can be a beautiful time of life where you can awaken to a lot of beauty and joy in
Oh
your life?
gosh. Oh yeah. I mean, what is it that you want in this life? Because one thing that is true about this stage in life, we're in our prime, but
Pride.
we pretty much have more days behind us than ahead of us.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so the clock is ticking. Doesn't mean you have to be panicky. It doesn't mean you have to feel like you're too late. But what is it that you feel you're on this earth to do? What was your mission during this life? And you need to you need to get in touch with that and make that happen.
I
And
think
that I think that's where it starts, because once you can touch that, once you can embrace that and attach yourself to that with no excuses, attach
Dr.
yourself to
Dr.
what you
Donna, I
feel.
think that's where a lot of women maybe drop the ball because when it comes to being a housewife and a mother and staying at home, it's underrated. So when the kids are gone and away and they're there, They don't know what, we don't know what, and I'll say we because we're all part of the collective, know to do with ourselves. But yet you can be the mother and do a lot of volunteering work for other organizations. So that know thyself, get to know who you are. And if that's a natural instinct and you haven't built up any skills, find new ones. It's a time for rediscovery, reinventing, right?
Yeah. You know, the internet makes everything possible. And YouTube, I don't know how I even existed on this earth before YouTube.
I get it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
if I want to know anything, if I want to learn anything, if I want to do anything, I go to YouTube.
Dr. Google and YouTube, I say Mr. and Mrs. YouTube, Dr. Google University, however you want to slice it, but that's how it goes. But a lot of people, especially, well, we just need to reprogram, refocus, everything ourselves. And when we do that, we can be more accepting of the cycle of life and what happens to us. I think the work that you're doing is stupendous. I think it's great. I'm going to ask my engineer to put up your poster and share with us. I love your poster, by the way. It speaks to all the things. Speak to a little bit about some of the things that are up there and some of the things that you want women to be more aware of. So if you can put up her poster now, we're going to speak a little bit about ask me a question. Tell us a little bit about what you want from people and how you want them to connect with you.
Okay, so what I'd like you to be able to do is be able to get a question answered. Is there something about menopause that is just puzzling you, that is just really on your mind, weighing on your spirit or whatnot? So this is your chance to ask a doctor a question. Are you afraid to ask your own doctor? Ooh. Did you ask your own doctor and they blew you off? A lot of women get that experience. So I want you to email me your question. My email is Dr. Donna G, MD at femalematters.com.
Yes. In
the subject line, put joy. That way I know what's happening in the rest of the junk that's in my email address, in my email account. And what I'll do is I will record an answer for you, because I don't want you to be afraid to know what it is you'd like to know. A lot of women are surprised that at the end of menopause, they don't feel great. Mm-hmm. But there are things that we can do about that. There are things to talk about with regard to that. Some of those things are residual, from before menopause. Menopause just blew it up. So if there's a residual question, if there is a burning question, if you just want to send a question, one question, but email me, and I will send you a response. Oh,
I know that you will. And then also we know that I think you said your website is up for coming soon. It's not quite there, but all you have to do is just send the question to you, and all the information is scrolling across the bottom here so they can get to that. Dr. Donna, your work is so needed. And you know that. And most everyone who has, as Mumsy would say, half a brain, they know that. I celebrate and applaud. I celebrate and applaud you for it. I will always be in your camp supporting you and working with you in any way that I can. Keep doing what you're doing, and know that you have lots and lots of work ahead of you, because we all need your wisdom and your love. We're going to put you in the green room, and that's it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Joy, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.
My pleasure, my pleasure. I've learned a lot as well, and I love learning. Good. My friends, here's what I say to you towards the end here. Every leading lady that I bring to you comes to you with information that, whether it's for you or someone that you know that you need to partake of. So take your time and make sure that you connect with Dr. Donna. She's a powerhouse, but she's full of wisdom and love, and she cares deeply. So whatever you're doing, make this the rest of the week and the rest of your life the best time ever. Enjoy every aspect and every moment, and know that coming from my heart to your heart is much, much love. Take care, be well, sending you much, much love, and we'll see you again next week. Same time, same station. Ciao for now. Cheers.